Before the age of men, before mountains had names or rivers had direction, there was silence. Then came the sound, three notes that formed the song of creation. Din, the goddess of power, shaped the red earth. Nehru, the goddess of wisdom, gave it order. And Furor, the goddess of courage, filled it with life. When their work was done, they departed the mortal realm. But where they stood last, a sacred relic remained, a golden triangle shining with divine harmony. The Triforce. It was not a weapon, nor a mind, nor a god. Merely a balance of all three. Whoever touched it would see their heart made manifest. If pure, the Triforce would grant harmony. If divided, it would mirror that division. And so it waited, in a realm untouched by time, known to mortals only as the sacred realm. But time is patient, and ambition never sleeps. When mortals found the tale of the Triforce, they began to dream of it, and from dream, desire was born. The Golden Land became legend, and legend became religion, and religion became war. 1,000 years after the Minish vanished, a new kingdom rose on their blessed soil, Hyrule. Built atop the ruins of divine creation, it became the jewel of the mortal world, where fields shimmered, rivers sang, and the sky itself seemed to guard the people below. At its heart stood Hyrule Castle, ruled by a wise and just king and his daughter, Princess Zelda, heir to the goddess Hylia's divine bloodline. Under their reign, peace flourished. But peace is a delicate crown. It fits uneasily when ambition waits at the border. Beyond Hyrule's border lays a vast desert, the land of endless sun. There, a proud tribe of warrior women lived under harsh skies, the Gerudo. And once every century, a man was born among them, fated by ancient decree to rule. That man was Ganondorf Dragmire. He was no mere thief or brute. He was brilliant, commanding, patient. He came before Hyrule's king, draped in humility, offering allegiance and gifts from the desert. But beyond his steady gaze burned envy, the envy of a man who had walked through sandstorms and seen gods do nothing. He learned of the Triforce. He learned of the sacred realm. And he learned of the prophecy that only one chosen by the gods could open the door of time. Ganondorf could not open it himself, but he could manipulate the one who could. All he needed was a boy with destiny in his blood. Far to the south, hidden within eternal green, lay the Kokiri Forest. Its children never aged, its skies never changed, and its guardian, the great Deku Tree, watched over them as protector and prophet. Each Kokiri was granted a fairy companion, a symbol of their eternal innocence. All but one. A boy without a fairy. A boy who dreamed of skies he'd never seen. His name was Link. He was not truly Kokiri, though he did not yet know it. He was a child of destiny, hidden among them, a human sent to the forest for safety long ago when war darkened Hyrule's fields. When Ganondorf's dark magic began to seep into the woods, the great Deku Tree summoned a final spirit, a fairy named Navi, and sent her to the boy. "Go to him," the tree said. for he is the last seed of courage. And together they entered the tree's heart, now corrupted by Ganondorf's curse. Though Link triumphed, slaying the final foul parasite within, the Deku Tree's fate was sealed, and his life faded. He spoke softly. The wicked man of the desert seeks the sacred realm. Take this stone and go to the Princess of Destiny. Hyrule depends on thee. And with that, the guardian of the forest, one of the world's oldest souls, went still. Link crossed the border into Hyrule Field for the first time. For a child who had known only trees, the horizon itself was a revelation. Guided by fate, he entered Hyrule Castle town, alive with music and laughter. But behind its bright veneer, tension brewed. In the castle gardens, Link met Princess Zelda, a young girl in years, but ancient in purpose. She greeted him with cautious wonder. "I've seen you in my dreams," she whispered. "A boy from the forest, carrying the spirit of courage. And behind you, the shadow of a man in black." That man was Ganondorf. Zelda revealed her vision. 3 spiritual stones were the keys to the door of time, the only gateway to the sacred realm. Ganondorf sought them to claim the Triforce. If Link could find them first, perhaps destiny could be rewritten. And so the boy set out across Hyrule. To the Gorons of Death Mountain, he brought peace and received the Goron's Ruby. To the Zora of the Eastern Waters, he brought courage and earned the Zora's Sapphire. And through it all, he proved that courage is not the absence of fear, but the refusal to yield. When Link returned, the sky above Hyrule darkened. Zelda, sensing betrayal, fled the castle with her guardian Impa, entrusting the Ocarina of Time to Link. Behind them rode Ganondorf, laughter echoing through the streets. His eyes met Link's for an instant. "Out of my way, boy. The wind of destiny will not wait for you." The wind of destiny would soon regret it. Inside the Temple of Time, 1,000 hymns slept within the walls. Link placed the 3 spiritual stones upon the altar. The ocarina glowed. Notes fell like raindrops, and from the heart of the temple, a new door opened. Beyond it, bathed in sacred light, rested the Master Sword, the blade of evil's bane. Link stepped forward, hands trembling, and drew the sword from its pedestal. In that moment, time itself stopped. The sword chose him, but not yet the man he needed to be. The god sealed him in the sacred realm, placing his body in stasis until he could bear the weight of legend. 7 years passed in an instant, and in that instant, Hyrule fell. Ganondorf, seizing the open door of time, entered the sacred realm. He touched the Triforce, and it shattered. He held only power, while wisdom fled to Zelda, and courage slept within the hero who would awaken 7 years later. The age of peace was over. The age of darkness began. When Link awoke, he was no longer a child. 7 years had passed, yet only seconds in his mind. The Temple of Time stood in ruin. Outside, Hyrule Field was barren, the sky perpetually red. Ganondorf ruled from the Black Tower that had once been Hyrule Castle. Monsters patrolled the plains. The laughter of children had been replaced by the moans of the damned. In the temple, a voice greeted him. the Sage of Light, Rauru. Welcome, hero of time. While you slept, the world burned. To end this, you must awaken the other sages and bind the King of Evil once more. Link's journey would not be for glory, but for redemption. Through forest, fire, water, shadow, spirit, and time itself, he freed the 6 sages. Each bore a face from his past. Soraya, his childhood friend. Darunia, the Goron leader. Princess Ruto, proud yet faithful. Impa, the guardian of shadows. Naboru, the Gerudo rebel. And Rauru, the first sage guiding all. Together, they became the last flicker of divine light in a kingdom consumed by dusk. The final battle loomed. Ganondorf had fortified his tower, a spire of obsidian, rising where the castle once stood. Thunder rolled as Link climbed its shattered halls, each floor echoing with memories of what was lost. At the top, Ganondorf waited. The Triforce of power pulsed in his hand. He smiled, not with madness, but certainty. Do you see, hero? The gods abandoned us. Only I have the strength to rule what they left behind. Their blades met, steel against storm. Magic and light clashed with fury. When the final blow landed, Ganondorf fell to his knees, laughing. But even dying, he was dangerous. The castle crumbled. Zelda and Link fled, the walls collapsing around them. But from the ruins, a monstrous roar. Ganondorf, twisted by hatred, transformed into Ganon, the Demon King. The hero and the princess stood together, courage and wisdom against power. The Master Sword struck true, and the demon was sealed once more. The battle was over, but the story was not. Ganon's monstrous form dissolved into the darkness of the sacred realm as the 7 sages sealed him away once more. The temple shook, the wind stilled, and silence fell across Hyrule like a long-awaited breath. But for Princess Zelda, victory carried a terrible price. She looked at Link, the man who had been a boy only a moment before, and her eyes filled with sorrow. She stepped toward him, her voice trembling not with fear, but with realization. Link, this all happened because you opened the door of time, because I asked you to. The weight of her admission hung in the air. It was Zelda's plan, her desperate, youthful attempt to thwart Ganondorf, that had unknowingly granted him access to the sacred realm. Her visions had been true, but her judgment had been rushed. Ganondorf had played her perfectly. Zelda took the Ocarina of Time in her hands. It glowed softly, not with magic, but with the power of choice. You were just a child, she said, her voice breaking. You lost 7 years. You lost your home. You lost the world you knew. She lifted the ocarina and looked directly into Link's eyes, the eyes of a man forged from a stolen childhood. Let me undo the burden I placed upon you. You deserve the childhood that fate denied you. In that moment, Zelda made the most selfless decision in the series' entire history. She chose not the world she needed, the world that revered its hero, but the world he needed. She played the Song of Time. Light wrapped around Link like a warm embrace. His body shimmered. His adult form dissolved, and he was carried backward through the river of time. Back to the night everything changed. Before the Master Sword. Back before the kingdom fell. Back to his lost years. When his eyes opened, he was a child again, standing before the Master Sword, the pedestal silent, the future unwritten. Zelda's gift was freedom, but freedom with consequence. For by sending Link back, Zelda unintentionally created 3 realities. One, where Link disappeared after defeating Ganon, leaving a world that recognized its hero, but no longer had him, a world the gods would one day drown. Another, where Link returned to warn young Zelda of Ganondorf's treachery, stopping the disaster before it could begin and altering history forever. But time is like glass. When struck by destiny, it does not bend, it shatters. The impact of Zelda's choice created a third path, born not from victory, but from failure. One where the hero of time died in battle. Ganon seized the Triforce, and the sages could not seal him. A world doomed to darkness, until a new hero rose in an age far descended. 3 timelines, 3 destinies, all born from a single song, a single moment, a single choice of compassion. Zelda had not merely sent Link home. She had rewritten the nature of destiny itself. The hero of time had not just saved Hyrule, he had defined it. From his story, all others would unfold. Like rivers from a single spring, the ocarina's final notes fades, but never ends. For every time the wind blows across Hyrule Field, every time a sword is drawn in defense of light, the world remembers the boy who faced eternity and chose to fight. Ocarina of Time is not merely a legend. It's the heartbeat of the entire saga. It is the moment when faith becomes fracture, when the hero's courage split the very timeline to preserve hope. Every world, every age, every hero that follows traces back to this one act. Next time, we'll follow one of those paths, the hero's defeated timeline, where light fails, evil reigns, and the echo of loss gives rise to new legends. Join me for Episode 7, A Link to the Past, The Return of the Demon King.